Tonight, the KVUE Defenders are wrapping up a three-part conversation with Austin City Manager Spencer Cronk. Over the past 2 nights, we've discussed the high-profile and controversial issues of homelessness and policing. Now, we're turning to Austin affordability and the city's growth. That's where the city manager and KVUE senior reporter Tony Plahetsky start the conversation.
When you think about the role of local government as it relates to affordability, what do you see as the role of the city in making sure that people can afford to live in Austin?
Yeah, well, that's another great question, because it is a challenge that we have always faced, frankly, here in Austin as our city continues to grow. One thing that's been surprising for me to see is just that we are seeing less rapid growth than even our surrounding neighbors. And so I was at a lunch with the Williamson County city managers recently, and they are growing at such a faster pace than even the city of Austin that we recognize that this is a regional challenge. And so to answer your question around local government, I think part of it is looking at the entire region and how we might be able to leverage each other's resources, think about a regional plan, ensuring that we're not just pitting one community against each other, because frankly, we are all in this together, and we have got to be able to address the housing needs and the infrastructure needs as our city continues to grow.
With regard to land use, can you just talk about that and the possibility of rewriting the city's land codes to allow more density? What are your thoughts on that process?
Yeah, I think it's an important conversation that our policymakers will continue to have, and I know that they have revived the discussion around housing and affordable housing. I anticipate that will be the topic that our council will be discussing in this coming year. And so as we shift from executing the investments that we have been able to achieve through Project Connect and through some of the bonds that passed, to now looking at what is it going to take to make sure that we are providing more affordable options for people that are staying in our community and coming to our community. And so that's really going to be a discussion that our policymakers will be having in this coming year.
The answer to this question may be obvious, but I would still like to hear your thoughts. Why is affordability so important to the fabric of Boston?
Yeah, I have been incredibly impressed with just how unique and magical Austin is. It takes so many different people to really define the culture of a community. It's hard to know what that magic dust is that has allowed this community to thrive. But one thing I do know is that because we have such a variety and diverse population that is able to live, work, and play in this area. And so I think the ability for multiple individuals, regardless of their income level, regardless of their job or what they do for a living, their family status, they're able to stay and find this as their home. And so we have got to keep that availability for all types of people to be able to call Austin.
As the CEO of the city as well, you're of course responsible for a myriad of city services in our community. With regard to growth and the explosive nature of the growth, how do you ensure that city services, anything from, that we have a 911 operator to pick up the phone to trash collection, how do you make sure that those essential city services are staffed in the months and years to come too?
You can't take your eye off the ball. I mean, at the end of the day, as you described, local government is there to provide those core services, the meat and potatoes, if you will, keeping our community safe, making sure that we have enough officers, making sure that we have the 911 operators, the trash is collected, you can turn the water on, you can turn the electricity on. And so I meet with my team on a regular basis and ensure that we're not just looking at the next 2 months, but we're looking at the next 2 and 20 years to be able to plan for and invest in additional growth and infrastructure as we need them. I'll give one example, because it is not just an Austin challenge, it's a challenge across our country around retaining the appropriate workforce. I mean, we're seeing real challenges in getting individuals to work for the city, and in particular, I'm dealing with one of them right now, which is truck drivers. And so the ability to keep the staff that we need for picking up our trash is significant, but I've really empowered our director of that department to give me the best options, the best creative ideas to keep and retain and hire more individuals so we can ensure that our services do not skip a beat and people know that when they put their garbage can out that it's going to get collected that day. I've seen significant challenges in surrounding communities, and I know that other cities in Texas have had to reduce the amount of days that they've been able to collect their trash because of these worker challenges. So I give that example, but knowing that these are challenges that many of our large employers across our region are facing, but the only way to get ahead of it is to not just plan for the next day, but it's really planning for the next handful of years. And so that's the charge that I keep giving my executive team here at the city.
Good.
You can see Tony Plahetsky's full conversation with Austin City Manager Spencer Cronk on KVUE.com.